Now Lars is going to present and to share the insight of ReMuNet, as John is not going to be here today. So Lars,
Yes,
we can see the full PowerPoint.
yes.
Now, yeah,
Now you
now it's
see,
perfect.
it's fine, right? Isn't it?
Yes,
Lovely, wonderful.
thank you.
Um, okay, so also I think just to repeat the others, Happy New Year from Germany, a very happy new year from Project ReMuNet on my side. I have the honor to introduce to you the project of ReMuNet, the resilient multimodal freight transport network. I will keep it probably a bit brief to stay in our agenda, and because as Zariel is our sister project, it's quite in some parts similar from a motivation perspective and so on. So let's start into our project on a very brief basis. And if we have a look into the news in recent years, we see that supply chains have been extremely disrupted across Europe, worldwide. However, take 2018, see there this Rastatt incident. In the end, it's an issue with the rail, which costs about 2 billion euros. If you talk to people from logistics, I mean, I think you know it all. It's like the incident somehow go further. 2020, we have COVID. Um, we have an extreme decrease in export goods from the EU, about 10%. A whole logistics supply chain is in a crisis mode somehow. Go a few months later, then you go to Egypt. The Suez Channel, in the end, it was a chip, but the whole impact on supply chains took many months. Then maybe a short break to breathe in 2021. 2022, we have the Ukraine war or the Russian attack on Ukraine with consequences for fuel, for transport sector driver shortage, especially in Germany, but also like food supply chains and grain export, and also of course issues on Chinese side. And to sum it up, that's really not everything, because if we look around, if we look into the news, we have the really big elephant in the room, the climate change, where if you have a look into a recent Gartner study, yeah, especially logistics and the security of supply and supply chains is one of the really heavily impacted areas. And to underpin this in the end, let's have a look at the really economic impact of these supply chains. Why disruptions? Why is it so paramount also for the European Union to really the Commission to focus on it? Yeah, the losses due to these disruptions were pretty low in 2021. Let's take there, for example, about 130 billions. Until last year, they expected about 920 billion euros a year, and losses only in the eurozone. So 920 billion a year, that's about a little bit less than 1/3 of the German GDP of economic losses in the whole eurozone due to supply chain disruptions. And so in the end, we really need supply chains, global, who are more resilient, and companies who need to make them more resilient. And there, for we also see, having a look at the numbers, more resilient also means more efficient, like reduced transport times, increased reaction speed, and also a better reliability and predictability regarding planning, and the reduction of unplanned downtimes in industry. But in the end, and talking about sustainability and climate change, resilience means also more sustainable supply chains. We're talking about less emissions like CO2, for example, promoted intermodality, and also the support of e-mobility. And in the end, in ReMuNet, in our research project, we try to obtain this goal with 23 international partners, a duration from 3 years, from mid of last year to July 2026, funded by the European Union with about 4 million euros, and to really focus on the resilience and sustainability in the freight transport, mainly on road, rail, and the barge, so the inland waterway system. And what we want to do there, we want to, if we have a look at the logistic network or logistic system, in case of disruptions, we want to identify alternative routes, and then on a collaboration platform, in the end, a digital platform, using real-time data, planning algorithms, local actors with their distinct capacities, we want to provide a solution to make the utilization of alternative routes possible, and in the end to increase resilience and efficiency of the whole logistics network. This results in reduced transport time, increased resilience, reduced cost, and also, as mentioned before, the emission side. And all that we're doing with our 23 partners, we as the FIR at WTH Aachen, as the very proud coordinators of this wonderful consortium, also some research partners from Austria, like the Fraunhofer there, and the Hanken University of Economics from Helsinki, Finland. Then we have different partners from industry, also like the Hafen Wien, Numancio, or Carthago, for example. We have some technology partners there, and also some associations like the SGKV, the VDV, the Association of the Logistics Companies in Germany, Alice, of course, and we have some. We're very happy to have White Research as our communication and dissemination partner on board. And how do we pursue this all? In the end, we have somehow like a multi-stage approach. And in the first step, we really want to understand. We want to understand on a deeper level than the proposal, of course, or how to work, already the multimodal transport networks, and describe the effects of disruptive events. So get an idea in the first work package. How does the system work on a very deep level? So go down to what are disruptions, what are challenges, what are contributions of different parties there, different stakeholders. We are conducting this by, on the one hand side, interviews, but also, and there really it comes into play, the survey Corinna just mentioned before very briefly. In the end, the survey will also be one of the pillars to really provide us a foundation of the understanding for the whole logistics ecosystem, but also in the end, a starting point for the further research activities. And then we will, based on our understanding of the disruptions and also the whole ecosystem, develop a reference model to calculate different transport routes against the background of possible disruptive events. So we will there, in the end, replicate the infrastructure and its utilization on a digital basis. And then our partners, mainly from the Fraunhofer of Austria, it's a different Fraunhofer association, will develop some kind of a route planning algorithm, which we really will then bring into industrial application. On the one hand side, we are the collaborative platform. In the end, we will build a platform for really this capacity exchange, and also, of course, a self-learning algorithm to really make it every time better, more exact, and so on. And then in the end, we really want to really roll it out, pilot and improve it to see the effects. There we have two use cases. One is the more social use case in the TEN-T corridor of the North Sea Baltic. It's funded into, it's based on the Ukraine war and some humanitarian logistics. And the second use case is the ecological use case, focusing on the area of Rhine-Danube. We really want to see how much emissions we could save with our approach. So this was a very brief introduction into ReMuNet. We are pretty happy to talk to you, discuss the project with you, and also feel free to just scan the QR code. Let's connect via LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and also YouTube. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Lars.